have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and a hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Hey everyone, time for Puzzle Talk, the geocaching puzzle podcast brought to you by the Geocache Talk Network. And here are your hosts. Yeah, I'm glad you're with us tonight, my friend.
Oh man, I thought this was the
just a meeting,
the birds meeting where we were talking about birds.
Thought we were talking about barbecue tonight. All right, here are your hosts, Charles Watkins and Tom Brotherman. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Howdy.
I would say that Tom is coming live from CoinFest, but he's just live from his house, right?
Right.
But you're not far from the festivities. We appreciate you joining us. I know.
Right now, I'm about 20 miles from the festivities right now.
I know. I thank you that you joined us, so we appreciate that. So we got some good folks on. Lacey's with us. Geo Tribe 5. Good evening. Good evening, she says. Good evening. Let's dive right in, and let's start with some news in the bumper. If you happen to be coming to CoinFest, or you're in the area for GeoCoinFest, which is
where is that?
It's in San Antonio.
Oh yeah,
my hometown, and it's going on right now. In fact, it's still going on. It'll be going on through the week.
No, it's not going on right now. The first official event is tomorrow evening.
That's true. And if you happen to be available, I'm going to put in the chat room the sign-up form. We still need a couple volunteers, so it'll be in the show notes, but it'll also be...
And it's on your screen now.
In the chat room. And Charles, thank you. Put it in the banners. So there you go. So help us out. Give a couple minutes of your time if you would. And if you're not able to do that, we understand. But and we hope to see you. We all are going to be there. The Puzzle Talk show is all there. Now I can't say that about every show. Although Gadget Talk will all be there.
Gadget Talk is already half represented because I had dinner with him last night.
That's right. Yeah. Chad flew in from Seattle, well, the Pacific Northwest, and he and Derek will be in. Derek's driving down Thursday like me, and my first event will be Friday night, so I know you guys I don't know, Charles, you're coming in Friday also, so you're hoping your first...
I'll fly in Friday night, and we'll be there about... Southwest Airlines says I'll be there at 7:15, so... You're
going to roll over to the quarry. Okay. Yeah, and who knows where it'll spill over after that, so listeners, patrons, everyone... who is around, if you, want to come see us, we'll be at the quarry what do they call that?
The
What's
core.
first
Oh,
event?
the place at the Hofbrau.
The Hofbrau. That's it. Hofbrau Brewery, and food, beer, and such. I think that's their official title is food, beer, and such. So,
You're
all
missing a
right.
great Wednesday event though,
Oh, is that the one?
where you can wash your car and your dog, and do your
Chicken
laundry. No,
chicken
nope, nope,
pickle.
no,
Nope,
nope,
that's
nope,
not that
nope,
one.
nope, nope, nope. You're
I'm
that's the
jumping
next
ahead.
day. Jumping ahead. It's
Which
at a
one's the
place
one?
called the Cove that's been on diners, drive-ins, and dives, where you can
Oh,
wash
that's
your
right.
car, wash your dog, and do your laundry,
And get food.
And
and,
get a bite to
and get
eat.
fed, and get fed.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I jumped ahead on that one. Um, okay, more news. Over to Charles.
All right. So, hey, the new labyrinth for Signal has started. It started yesterday. So, if you are into digital souvenirs, then we've got a
Cool.
run for you. So, the new season or the new labyrinth for Signal has started. He's in a hedge maze for the next 60 days. So, do what you can to help him get out of the hedge maze and into whatever is going to fall for us next. But that started
Cool.
yesterday, so get out there and grab some caches. Point values have changed, so
That's
go to
what
your
I was
profile
just about to
page.
ask you.
Yeah, go to your profile page and check it out. And see what the point values are and where you need to stay focused to get through with the least amount of cache finds over the next 60 days.
That would be the mystery cache. They're worth 35.
There
That's
you
the
go.
highest thing on there.
That's us right here. We're here for you.
That's right.
So
Darren did a bunch.
season 2 of this year's CETOs have started, and CETOs have been, or CITOs or CATAOs, or however you want to pronounce that. Some of them have already started, and get out there and find you a CETO event now through November 30th, and you will earn you a CETO season 2 for year 22
nice.
digital souvenir, as
Roll
well as
Perfect.
as this weekend is International Earth Cache Day. So find any Earth cache on the 8th or the 9th this weekend and earn a new digital souvenir for your profile. So if you are into souvenir hunting, like Doug McCrae, and you want to get up there close to where Doug is, you can't miss one. And we've got an opportunity for you to pick up 4 of them here rather quickly. Enter the maze, exit of the maze, a season 2 for CETO, and an Earth Cache one. So there you go for that. Get you some digital souvenirs for your profile, qualify for some challenge caches, and attempt to catch Doug McCrae. But if you weren't geocaching way back in the day, all you'll be able to do is get close, because that man has like every single one of them. That was a great show.
Yeah.
The other day. So
he's kind of the Tom Brady of souvenirs. It's take you till you're 70 to catch that guy. You might be able to catch him because
he's gonna have to stop geocaching for somebody to catch him. Yeah,
right.
So hats off to him. So 4 new digital souvenirs that you can, if you plan it all right and you get out there and get geocache, you can get 4 souvenirs by the end of this weekend.
Yeah,
you could. If you get in and out of the maze, you hit
double down on that
CETO event this weekend and an Earth Cache, you get all 4 in the next 5 days and call it good. Be like, done.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Well, I'm glad you had Earth Cache in the news, because I Didn't know. So now
I'd forgotten too. I'm glad that I saw that in a email, and I mentioned it to Charles. He's like, already on top of it, buddy. Already on
So
top.
I'm big them earth caches. I like them.
That's right. Yep. Very cool. Very cool.
They're like a mystery with words.
Yes.
I like that. Like a mystery cache with words.
Okay, so let's get into tonight's show. I'm not going to lie. I wrote about that much of our show notes.
And in fact,
it's probably like the last 10 words of the show notes are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 7 words and 1 hyperlink are mine. The rest of this is all done by Tom. And so this came up in, I had a listener send me a cache GC code while he was in Georgia doing some stuff, and I kind of looked at it and didn't exactly know what to do. So what did I do? I sent it to Tom. I said, Tom.
Exactly. What do you do?
Within about 5 minutes of Tom looking at it, he sent me back and said, oh, it's this. And I said, we need to do about this. And so here we are doing a show about bases and how that relates to maths and whatnot. So, Tom, we're going to turn it over to you real quick, but give us the rundown real quick on bases like you gave Gary earlier.
Math bases? I thought you meant like Navy bases or something.
Oh, dang it. Or the old video game.
Do you know about Navy bases?
All your bases belong to us.
Are they baseball bases?
And baseball, I didn't play. I was in the band. I didn't play baseball.
I brought my clock tonight too, by the way, just to help. So.
Okay, what time is it there, Gary?
I haven't reset it because I just turned it back on, but it's 1 something. It's
20. 1, 2,
26.
3. Yeah. 1:26 a.m. and
the seconds are right here.
The seconds are moving. So, but it's
they go up to 1, 2. Yeah. And I do have the instructions by the way. So, okay.
So, all right.
Let's get over to bases.
Yeah, Tom, give us a rundown on this. And
man, I would have made a PowerPoint, but I thought you being the math dude and your brother being the math dude, you'd have one on there. So I thought he's got this covered. I got to leave him something to do. Man. All right. So some of the bases you already know and maybe don't know that you know. So we count in base 10. That's decimal. You've heard of probably most likely heard of binary. That's base 2.
Right.
You may have heard of hexadecimal. It's base 16. So then how to explain it? You got to know exponentials to know how it works. So I guess let's start with base 2 then. Or actually we'll start with base 10. We'll kind of start with base 9 maybe. I don't know. I'm going to jump all over the place because I'm winging this now. So with up to base 10, if you take the base, subtract 1 number, that's the numbers you're dealing with. So base 10, you got 0 to 9. If we were doing base 7, you'd have 0 to 6.
Ah.
Okay. Right. And then let's go back to base 10 for a second. So you count 0 through 9, and then to get 10, well, let's stick with the 0 for 9 first. 9. You're going to take 0 to 9 is that number times 10 to the 0. And 10 to the 0 is 1. So anything number multiplied by 1 is going to be itself. So if you for 9 would be 9 times 10 to the 0, which is 9 times 1 is 9. So then when you get through 0 to 9, how do you get the next number? Well, then it's 1, 0. So it's 1 times 10 to the 1, which is
Correct.
10. So 1 times
Mhm.
10 is 10. And 0 times 10 to the 0, 0 times anything is going to be 0. And is Gary's eyes glazed over yet? Almost. So if we jump back to binary, it's just
Like my
zeros
clock.
and one. It's zeros and ones. So like
Correct.
with binary, there's 10 kind of people. Those who understand binary and those who don't. Because it's
That's
10,
funny. If you
10
understand
is a
binary.
2. Well, yeah, because 10 is 2 because it's 0 times 10 to the 0 would be 0 times 1 is 0. So that's a 0. And 1 times 2 to the 1 is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So you have a 2. When you go above, yeah. when you go to base 11, you count 0 to 10 before you start over. When you go to base 12, now it gets real fun. If you hated algebra, you're really going to hate this because now you run out of numbers, and we start adding letters in there.
Oh, that's when the letters come into play.
Yeah, that's where you get like 7A, and you're like, what number is 7A? And
yeah,
you get
I got A, B, C, D.
No such thing as a
I'm lying to you because base 11 is when it starts because 10 would be A.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
10 is A.
Yeah,
so,
we knew what you meant.
Yeah. So
because there's no number
hexadecimal,
for
that. So a hexadecimal, which is a very common one, you count 0 to 9, and then for 10 through 15th is A, B, C, D, E, F.
Correct.
Right.
But you can do any base you want.
The fun part about this is that you really like, like Quincy, you don't have to really understand the math. It's fun, and sometimes it helps if you understand the math, but you don't have to. There are online calculators. There are online calculators for all of this.
Yeah, you're jumping. You don't know this, but you're jumping way ahead. You are jumping ahead.
About the fun part?
Yeah, that too.
Oh.
That too.
So let's jump to the first puzzle because this first puzzle inspired the next two that are on the list.
Okay. And just for listeners, once the show notes publish, we've got a couple of links on explaining how some of these different bases work, and a breakdown of some of this stuff, so that you can go in there and kind of do some, late night reading. If you are having problems falling asleep, pull up a couple of these links. They'll put you right out. But we'll also put in the show notes some calculators so that you can find a way to convert some of this stuff so that when you find one of these puzzles, you're not just continuing to be lost in the sauce.
Right.
So that being said, let me share my screen and remember how to do this.
While you're doing that, somebody mentioned about math not being fun. Actually, if you go to YouTube and look up you put in the word number file, there actually is some to me, and I'm not a big math guy, but I find that to be fascinating, and I like watching the episodes of Number File. They do a great job of explaining the different quirks. It's kind of like quirks of math, and I don't know. I find it interesting. So
yeah, and you don't go to jail for being a number file.
No, that's perfectly legal. That's a file that's okay. But Tom's on fire.
They were out in my front yard earlier today, or kind of catty corner from the house. It's National Night Out, in case you didn't know.
Oh, nice.
So,
Support your local fire and police.
he's trying. I know you can do this.
Houston, Texas Dave
But
says it's one math science
it-
teacher.
they've changed the names of it, so it threw me for a loop.
That's okay. Yeah, they
So,
did. They have
sorry
updated it a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so
here-
this cache has been archived, but it inspired old Tom here, and so 9 plus 9 equals 12 is the name of the cache. The GC code is GC15XNQ.
9 plus 9 equals 18.
Well,
it does, but
not
it
in this
also
case.
equals 12.
But it can be. Yeah, that's funny. Clever idea for a cache. I have to admit.
So and look, he gives you the coordinates right there. I mean, it's already solved. There, those are the coordinates right there. If you can read the base. So even if you didn't know how to do the math for this thing, and you didn't know how to do, switch to the stuff, you could use something like Cache Sleuth or whatever,
Yep.
and plug
Good old
those
Cache
things
Sleuth.
in, because you know what the north and the west, the first three numbers on each one are supposed to be.
Right.
So 1E, scroll up and you'll know right away what 1E is going to be.
It's got to be
1
30,
equals
right?
30
That's where the cache is.
and 97.
Right.
So we've got to be 30 and 97. So 61 somehow needs to equate to 97.
Right. So it'd be 1 times, and I'm going to spoiler alert here. This is hexadecimal. Big spoiler here. So
hexadecimal.
16 times 10 to the 0, or 16 times 1, plus 6 times 16 times 10 to the 1. So 6 times 16 is a really big number. And when you add that plus 16 together, it'll give you 97.
Give you 97. Wow. That's interesting.
And then you do the same thing there for the 3F and the 2D and the 328 and the 6E.
Huh.
And I did this by hand.
I'm not surprised, Tom. I'm not surprised one bit.
You can also quickly set up in an Excel spreadsheet. If you're good with Excel spreadsheets, you can set up these decimal formats as well. Hexadecimal is pretty easy to run in a Excel spreadsheet. If you back in the day before Google knew everything, there were alternative ways to do this. And instead of always having to do it by hand, you could program a deal to run in Excel and fill in the blocks for you.
And that's exactly what I did on this.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
There you go. You got it perfect. I did exactly that. So then that expired me. At this point, I had not put out a puzzle cache. And I thought, man, I love this. I want to do different. I want to do it different though. I don't want to do, just copy hexadecimal. So you can do any base you want. So go to the next puzzle on the list.
Well, let's see. Dun, 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 dun.
GC1G JDF.
Yes. It's het to be square.
Hep to be square. Dun, 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 dun,
Look at who this
dun,
one's by.
dun. Hep to be
Oh, look.
square.
This one's
So,
by that
Oh.
electric water guy.
Electric
Yeah.
water guy.
so you're looking at my first puzzle I ever made. Look at the date on that thing. 2008.
Wow.
I hadn't even been caching a year at this point.
But you were fired up.
I was fired up. I was coming up on a year. I was within a month of a year, but so even at this point, I had already figured if you're gonna do something, have a reason to do it. So I knew
Right.
what base I wanted to use. I needed a reason to have the math out there. So here comes this baloney story, a little bit, and kind of a hint. I guess it's not really a story. This is a hint to tell you. So keep scrolling down.
Oh,
Hep to
Title's
be
a hint.
square.
I give you the cache is not hidden there. I got Huey Lewis there, but it says "Hip to Be Square." That was a real popular album when I was in high school. But
Absolutely.
I threw "hep" at you above it. Play on words. It's "hep to be square."
That's right. It's still active. Nice.
It's still active, and so and just like the one before, there's the coordinates sitting right in front of you, and look, I tell you, yep, that's one too many numbers. And then same with the next one. There's too many numbers. So darn, I did it again. You can't put those in your GPS, and so you got to do something with them. And at this point, it says C.A. Drake, which is she's changed her name since then. That's Crazy for Cats, or Cheryl, the wife.
The wife. Yep.
I didn't know how to do web page stuff, so she built the web page for me. And then I give you a hint there that it's similar to Stalag 17 and was inspired by, and it'll say 9 + 9 = 12, by Semper Questio, which we've had. Remember, we talked about him on a show a couple months ago. Or actually, it was on Geocache Talk, not on our show.
Right.
People getting hurt. He was a guy that fell off the cliff and shattered his ankles.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, well, there you go. I tell you, I love that puzzle. So the hint, well, there's a little bit of hint with the 17. I tell you how it's inspired, but now you come back. All right, so what base would this be in? If you had to guess.
So the chat room can answer for us.
Yeah, chat room, tell us what base.
Dun, 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 dun. You can get me to stop singing.
Oh, please give the answer so he'll stop singing. Please.
It's Hep to be square.
Direwolf's got it. Yay.
In seven, or is it 7 or 17? No, it'd be 7.
It's 7. It's base 7.
Base 7.
So just like the 9 + 9, I broke each section up in base 7. So the 41 has got to be a 29. The 50 is, I got it on my end. Why don't I look? 50 is a 35, and the 1041 is a number I'm not going to tell you, so you got to solve it. And then 200.
That's funny.
200 makes 98. The 32 makes 23, and the 1001 makes, well,
another number.
Another number. And yes, it's still there. And it's a small. I gotta remember. I think this one. I'm trying to remember if this one was a peanut butter jar, probably. But yeah.
Originally, or until you've had to replace
says
it
it's a
times,
small.
maybe.
This. I asked Tom about this earlier as well, because I was like, hey, there's no like binary, tertiary, quaternary. 7 is septenary. And so when I was going down the list looking at this for one of the links that we have for hepadecimal, or there's no, there's no hep in any of this. And so, Tom, what did you have me look for?
Heptagon.
A
Like octagon.
heptagon.
Like
A
an
heptagon.
octagon is 8-sided. Look up heptagon, and it's 7-sided.
So a heptagon is 7-sided.
What does that even look like? That up.
It looks.
So-
it looks.
Oh,
like
that's
a
weird.
Pentagon with 2 extra walls.
It
We added.
does.
They added the Space Force, and they let the Coast Guard in.
Right. Now it's the right. Yep. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force. I probably forgot somebody. No, there's 6, right?
I don't know.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force is 6. Yeah, 7 looks a little. It looks interesting. It's like a misshapen stop sign.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So-
a weird shape.
Since you mentioned this one, it's the next one on the list, so we're going to look at it. Stalag 17,
I
which
know
is
Gary's old enough to know where that comes from.
Oh yeah, The Great Escape, right?
No.
Stalag 17 was that Hogan's Heroes?
Hogan's Heroes.
What was the Stalag? That's a good question. What was the Stalag in The Great Escape? Was it Stalag 3, I think? I think it was 3. Sorry. I'll have to look that one up too. Yeah, Stalag 17. Colonel Klink.
Colonel Klink. I know nothing. Hey,
Hogan.
probably a whole lot of Sergeant Schultz's in the chat room tonight. I know
Hogan.
nothing.
Nothing.
All
I don't know
right.
what you're talking about.
You act like you're not that young, sir. You're not young enough to not know. Well, you might not. I mean,
So this
all
is
right.
all the TV I did.
So this one is by that electric water guy again.
Dang.
And this one is put out right around the same time. It's not far behind the other one.
same day. I put them out the same day. And they got published at the same time.
Oh, I was right.
And we're gonna get to that story here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So same kind of deal, not at the thing. Why Stalag 17? There's no escape from Stalag 17. Maybe 16 or 18, but not 17. And there again, there's the coordinates right in front of you. And
Maybe after a few rewatches. It's still out there. You're right. She's right. It is. You can still catch it on
That's
TV
right.
One or whatever currently shows the old school MeTV.
Man. There was a time I'd watched this enough, I could have told you which general that was in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so this one's going to be the same format, but this is obviously they're all going to be similar format. But this one, instead of having too many digits back here, now you got these funky letters, whatever 19
letters,
19F and a 08 alpha.
Huh.
There's a C and a D and
yeah.
So you know it's
what I throw in for a hint on this one.
So you know it's above 11, right? We know that because it has
This
to be
is
at least
similar to
11
hep
above.
to be square, and 9 plus 9 equals 12.
Yeah.
Similar.
So that's
right?
so you gave us 2 other puzzles that we also don't know what we're looking for as clues. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. I run you in circles. Well, now that you know a little bit, Darren's got it. I was going to say, what base is it? Base 17. Now, I was telling you earlier, you jumped way ahead. So when I did these, and you said how I saw 9 plus 9 is 12, I did an Excel thing and I did this the short version of math on it.
Right.
On this,
This
I
is the longer
probably
version.
I did the long version. I did the math on them, so I had a spreadsheet counting down to up to 1,000,
Oh wow.
Oh
and
yeah.
had all the stuff in there, so that when I could go scroll down, find the number I want, and the whole code would be there. So
Dang.
it took me a little bit. I probably spent an hour on each of these. I don't know, but it took a little bit of time, and I thought, man, it's going to take people 2 weeks to solve these things minimum. It's going to take them all to figure it out and solve it.
You
This is
figured,
back,
yeah.
yeah, and this is back when our reviewer, if you scrolled way down, you'd see Prime Reviewer was the
Yep.
reviewer
Prime. Yep.
Oh yeah.
and he was predictable. You knew that about 10
Rest in
o'clock,
peace.
his mom was going to give him a burrito down in the basement, and he'd be down there publishing stuff.
Right.
So this probably published probably about 10 o'clock at night. And about 7:30 the next morning, they were both found.
You're like, how is that possible?
How is that even
How?
possible?
Is this sort of like
Man.
your green you're trying to solve
Avocados are green too, that one? Yeah.
Yes.
How is that even possible you can solve
how's
it that
possible?
Yeah.
Oh, there's tools for this? Oh, I didn't know that.
I had no clue. At this point, Google was not a friend. Google was
Right.
barely an acquaintance. I knew a little bit about
back
Google,
then.
but I knew a little bit about Google, but I didn't think about any kind of apps to do the math for me. Yeah, now there's an app for everything. So
yeah.
You want to do base 17? Yeah. There is an app strictly for base 17. Or there's ones that'll put all of this stuff in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that'll do base 2 to 64 and throw all the numbers up there so you could see them all.
Extraconversion.com, base number, base 17.
Yep.
Just Google it and you'll find it. But it's got a conversion tool.
Woo! But our buddy at Cache Sleuth has got that already in there, so that's
he does. Yeah.
One shot, one stop. Get
Perfect.
it all done there.
Yeah. I messaged back and forth with Cache Sleuth today, so I told him, I said, we probably are going to mention you tonight, and he laughed, but we did. We were going to mention him. So
yeah, I just needed him to be out 10 years earlier than this.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right. So the next one that we're going to look at is called Don't Mess with the Bases. It's GC2QBXW. This one's been archived by a cacher named Flyfisher. So let me add this to the screen. And this one, again, is going to be in the greater San Antonio area. Y'all seem to like these down there.
Yeah, there's a couple. There were a couple. This one's been archived. I think my two might be the only ones around anymore. But this is cool because this one was a field puzzle. Although it helped if you did some work ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I like that.
Because this one tells you it's in base shop. And there is no such thing as base shop, but he made it up. But he shows you how it counts there. So it counts SH0P, then HS, HH, HO, HP, OS, OH. So he's telling you how it works.
Right.
So S is 0, H is 1, 0
O is
2, and P is 3. So what base are you dealing with?
Base 4.
Base 4.
Oh, shop. So 4 digits, basically.
So HS would be, if you were doing it with numbers, this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, 21.
Right.
So now that you know that, now you're going out in the field, because this was a field puzzle, and you kind of
Oh.
needed a pair of binoculars because you were
Clever.
looking on utility pole for a 4-digit thing up there, code that just used the letter shop. I think it was 4-digit, but anyway,
Right.
use the letter shop, and you had to figure out what number that was, and then divide it by the 25 to get your get the coordinates. Well, you get
Oh,
a number
okay.
that you're going to add to the base 10 numbers that you have here. So you had to. It was a field puzzle with base 4 numbers.
Base 4. Wow. Clever.
And I have
Which
no
is
idea.
also known as quaternary.
Ordinary. And no, I wasn't first to find. Dadgum. I was close. Let's see, how far off was I?
But you were
It wasn't
fired
on
up
my
about.
it wasn't my side of town, so
Right.
no, I was about 2 weeks later. Once the first to find was gone, I wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I really enjoyed this one. So
Yeah.
again, you had to learn a little bit about the math on this. I mean,
Yeah. Because it is really kind of quirky when you think about it. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 20, 21, 22, 23. And that's your first. Well, from 0 to 10, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, 21, and 22. That's 0 through 10. And then it goes up from there.
Right.
Yep. You got it.
But
It
you've
is,
got
but
to,
your brain doesn't want to do that, though.
yeah.
Big-
In looking at this, it looks like the cache was archived because the pole with the number on it went missing.
Right.
Yeah,
Due to
somebody
some
probably hit the pole.
construction.
It happens, unfortunately.
It says road construction has claimed the object that the sticker placard was on. So probably in a road widening development, it went MIA. So
Okay, so this wasn't somebody hitting it with their car.
no, yeah, Hossman Road looks like it's got a section there where it looks like it widened an additional lane in each direction. So yeah.
The guy that sits 2 cubes over from me handles the spills from the transformers when they come off the poles and people nail the pole with their car.
Oh, my.
Oh, I know a little bit about that stuff.
Hopefully, everybody is
And
still
I-
with us. Apparently, Direwolf's not. He needs us to start over. So,
Well, he's got to holler at a friend at home. So what's he worried about?
hey, everyone. It's time for Puzzle Talk, the Geocaching Puzzle Podcast. Oh, sorry. We're not going to start over. Never mind.
We're not. You're going to have to watch the rerun.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a couple of more that we want to look at real quick, and then we'll do some other stuff in the last fleeting moments. So let's look at this one. This one is GC6 Zulu 082. This one is called All Your Base 31 Are Looking to Us.
Belong to us.
Yeah, belong to us. That's what I said.
Are belong to us. Set your time.
What video game did that come from?
It was a game called. Hang on, I just had it up. I love the. And that's where I set the show to. That in the show for the show. Zero Wing. I've never played it, but
Me neither.
I've watched the video of they pulled or not a meme. Yeah, it was a meme. It's just sort of a badly translated, and so we all laughed, because of
Oh.
the funniness of what can happen if you don't have
So
proper
this cache
translations.
page, I like this cache page because it explains how you can go back and look at when, based off of the numeric ID for cache listings and whatnot,
Right.
you can tell when a cache was created in order, right? And
Yep.
and which cache was even though the placed on date you can go in and manipulate as a cache owner, you can't manipulate which GC code and thus your numeric ID that is assigned to your cache page is. So for things like the oldest cache in Ohio, which is, there's some controversy because the actual oldest cache in Ohio, outside of Cincinnati, is a long ways away from the other cache that claims to be the oldest cache in Ohio, even though the numeric IDs or the GC codes for them are make it evidently clear when geocaches kind of got published and whatnot. So it's pretty easy to figure out which is the real oldest cache in the state based off of this. And this is kind of neat that Terraviators has gone in and he's created a math puzzle over here, but at the same time, he's explaining how Groundspeak kind of did a lot of the stuff that they did initially up until the point that we ended up running out of numbers.
Yep.
So
that's why Mingo is not the 30th geocache. It is GC 30, but it's not the 30th ever made. The 7th made, I guess.
Yeah, they did a weird in the first 100. They did a weird naming convention where all of the geocaches that were already published that had pages made, they numbered them GC1 through whatever, and they went from West Coast to East Coast. So whereas GCD, that's up there outside of Seattle, is a younger cache than Mingo. It falls before it because of where it falls geographically in the country. So it's kind of some of the early geocaching stuff is kind of neat how they did some of that stuff. But this explains to you how
after that
after they did that initial wave, how they standardized it going forward. And there are a couple of puzzles that
you got it. So you got it sort of right though, because I can mess with it. If I start it's not with the publish, it's when you start making the cache. So
when you create the cache page,
I could grab a cache page a day and sit on it for 5 years. Put it out, and it would have a number that's the GC code is from 5 years ago when it published, but it's brand new cache.
Well, but that's the only way that you could do it now. You couldn't take a cache page that you got today and then try to make it for 4 years ago.
No, you can't do that.
Right.
So if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you got to start planning ahead today.
What's interesting too is we're past the numbers. I don't know if y'all noticed, but now when you look at a cache, if you see a GC number something that just ended,
for this
Cache
go
Fest,
around,
Cache Fest next year is GC9 Zeph, ZEFF, but GC9 there's no more GC9. It was 9Z.
Right
now we're into it flipped to A probably
GCA. Right, we're at GCA
something or
and whatnot. It's not the first time that we've gone this route, but it's the first time with the amount of numbers that we have that we've gone that rolled over into that. So Anyhow, back on topic. Sorry, I drug us
No,
away
you're
from
fine.
that.
No,
So this
Um,
is GC6. We know this cache. Well, this cache is in 2018, but that's not the point of the puzzle. Sorry.
no.
Right.
But he does a good job of explaining the math or showing you the
Yeah.
math that I was trying to explain there.
It's really cool.
And it gets into tracking numbers and the code. So, you know, why is it base 31? Because it's not base 36. Because they take out 5 letters, and those 5 letters is the solution of this thing. So I don't really want to give that away.
Right.
But the 5 letters they took out and did it for 2 reasons. One is those letters can look like numbers.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'll just tell you 3 of them. An O can be is it an O or a 0? And is it an I or a 1? Or is that an S or a 5?
Huh.
And by
Correct.
taking out the 5 letters they took out, you can take out most of the bad words people might try to spell.
Correct.
Clever.
At least in English. It might work different in Czechoslovakian or something. I don't know.
Right,
I don't know I don't know how to cuss in Czechoslovakian. But if you can figure out those 5 letters, and there's ways to do it, then you can solve this puzzle, because you really don't have to do math on this one. This one just explains the math, and thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and he adds in a certify, which I love. I appreciate that he put that in there. I enjoy a good certify. Don't.
No, yeah, with a certitude. Yeah.
Certitude. Sorry, not certify. Certitude. Yeah, with certitude. You get if you get it wrong, you get Homer.
So
So this is a good
It is a good one. All base
is a good puzzle that helps explain a lot of this stuff. If you get lost in the maths,
Yeah.
sometimes. So really enjoy that, and the effort that that Terraviators put into it to kind of wind this out and get it all written down for us and whatnot. So
And all geocaches still have a ID, which people don't think about or even know that. I mean, they're there. Every geocache has a different ID than just the GC code.
correct.
Just FYI for those that didn't know.
So Gary, this one's not too far from you. Isn't this one like driving to the grocery store for you?
Oh, sure. Which one? This one or the next one?
This one right here.
Oh, yeah, it's in Denton. Not bad. Yeah, right. Sure.
That's just a quick trip to the grocery store for you.
Not far from me. Not at all. Let's see. How far is it? Where we're going on? 61 miles.
I was close. I was going to guess 60.
60. You're right. As the crow flies, 61 miles from my home location. Well, that's where the puzzle is. I don't have the solve part of it yet. So
while this is all in your head tonight, you better solve it. So you'll get it
That's
done
right.
before the next
at least
show.
need to correct. At least need to correct the chords tonight. So I don't. Even if I don't remember it later, at least I'll have corrected chords done.
That's right. So
That's
the next one that we're going to look at is GC63 GTH. This one is called Third Base, which kind of makes you think that it's
baseball related.
Yeah. Right. And then he gives you that the cache is at the following coordinates, and that doesn't look like that's something that I can put into a GPS and come out with something.
Right.
But taking what you learned, what you've learned tonight.
Third base.
What base is it? Third base. But even if the name,
I don't know.
let's say he named a cache Fred. You know, for whatever reason, he named it Fred. What base would this be? Just looking at the numbers.
The ones the numbers he gives us.
Yeah.
It's either they gave us a 1, a 0, and a 2. Is all I
So, right. So, if you got a 0, a 1, and a 2, and then your base is the right. So this should be
see.
you got-
Actually, the way you did it, Charles, that just pointed out that you did good there.
right. Yeah, you have a zeros,
Zero?
ones,
A 1,
and twos. Right. So that gives you and
base
Base
then
3.
your base is
3.
you know
Yeah, it's always whatever the number is above it. Right.
it's so if you only got zeros, ones, and twos, then you are a base 3 because
right.
base 3 has zeros, ones, and twos. It doesn't have a 3 in it. Base 4 would have a 3 in it.
Would
A
have a
0,
3
1.
in it.
0, 1, 2,
And base 5 would have a 4. So since you're limited to zeros, ones, and twos,
2.
it has to be base 3.
Base 3.
Um,
What does Google say about base 3? Ternary number.
yeah.
Ternary system.
So knowing that there's things on the line to solve these for you, you could have this done in about a minute.
Yep. This one's still active. It's still out there, and whatnot. So,
And he
You
had
know.
a few other base puzzles that I didn't get to get into, but so I went looking for stuff. I did a regional search looking in Texas and just put in find me stuff with base in the
in the title,
title and just give me puzzles, and handful of them came up.
okay.
So now that you're all experts on this stuff, you can go do that tonight and solve a few of them.
And you could easily create a couple.
You can create your.
Absolutely.
So we're going to look at this puzzle, and this is the last puzzle that we're going to look at tonight. And it's the one that I sent Tom. And so we'll look at it. This is a newer cache.
Okay.
It was published in February of 22. It is GC9 NAK5, which looks like GC9 NAKES, which is why they don't have the S. Anyhow, it is called Dirty Eggs. But since I have it solved, I've got to scroll down past my solved coordinates before I share my screen.
Can show it, right? I could show it. I don't have it done, but yeah.
Ta-da! And there we go. So it says, don't go to the posted coordinates. There's no cache. Solve the puzzle. And so he gives you its north A, B, C, and west D, E, F. And then he gives you the numbers. So A is 29, B is 41, C is 215. And those work for actual coordinates until you get to D is 6B. And so that doesn't work at all. So knowing that there's a letter in here tells us that, Gary, it's got to be at least
11. It has to be at least base 11, right?
That's correct.
That's when numbers start or letters start.
Well, base
Letters.
11 is where letters start, but B tells us which letter starts at base 11.
Oh, A. So it's got to be above.
This is at least base what?
Base.
At least base 12, right? Do we get a B?
Because there's a B in
Yeah.
it, right? So knowing that and knowing the hint in this or the reminder that he has says, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, but you can put them in one carton.
Carton 12.
Right? And so if you are following
Right.
our Instagram page, I posted a base related puzzle off of this one that uses the
Nice.
exact same base system in it. And I even put the exact same hint on the Instagram page. So if you follow our Instagram page for Puzzle Talk Podcast, I published a puzzle yesterday or the day before on the Instagram page. But go over to Instagram and look at Puzzle Talk Podcast, and you'll see some of those. And I'll actually, the coordinates for where this puzzle takes you, I'll be visiting this next month when I go on my vacation. So it'll be interesting. But
Oh, cool.
so I'll go. There's a multi-cache and an earth cache at the location that you get when you solve the coordinates for the Instagram puzzle. But Houston, Texas, Dave has it correct. So a dozen eggs. This is going to be base 12.
I like that.
And
A dozen eggs.
And pretty quickly you'll be able to convert this over and get solved coordinates for it. There are at least 2 hints above. B is not equal to B. And then it says that it'll be easy to find. It looks like
As far as the cache container. Yeah.
Ronbo right here is the guy who I helped him solve these coordinates in this puzzle cache. So it's always nice when you help some of your caching friends. And Tom, thank you for helping both of us.
You're welcome. But you just pointed something else out that I didn't think about. So when you're doing, you get past 10 and now you're starting to add in letters. Those letters are they're uppercase.
Oh.
So that gives you 26 more letters. But then what happens when you run out of those letters? You go to lowercase.
Lowercase.
So that gives you another 26. After that, I have no clue. But that's why one of the reasons that B is not equal to B thing in there.
Right. Dun, 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 dun. Let me find this. All right, so I'm going to share. This is the screen that this is the online tool. Let me put it in the chat for everybody. There it is. This is the tool that I used when I was looking at some of this. So when you go here, you want to enter a number, so if you did 254, because that's the counties in Texas, and you wanted to convert 254 to hexadecimal, the hexadecimal is FE, right? But you can also go this way, so you can convert 254 from hex to decimal, right? And 254 in hex back to decimal is 596. So this will let you convert from, binary to any other format all the way down to 36. So this one has binary to base 36, and you can just go in there and select whatever number you want, and then normal conversion for us, our everyday counting system is base 10. So when you look at a set of actual coordinates, they're in base 10. So in order to convert them to something else, you'll need to convert them from base 6 to something. And so you could make your puzzles very much like Shrek's onion that have layers to it. You just need to make sure that you give those hints to those layers to people. So, and remember that in order to do some of that stuff, you'll need to convert it from base 10 or decimal to whatever base you want to go to, and then take that resulting number. So in this 72, right? And then we replace 72 up here, and you go from base 36 on this one to, let's say, binary, and you convert it out. And so that's what you end up with. That is 72 in binary from base 36.
Gotcha.
So, right. This one is the one that I used. It helped me a lot, just simply because you had options to go from one base to another.
Right.
Because I found a puzzle that did that. You had to convert stuff from hexadecimal to base 7 and then to base 10. It was kind of a odd one. I guess I could dig it up, right? But because it was multi-layered, I didn't want to share it on tonight's show. But this is the tool that I used. It's the rapidtables.com/convert/numbers/base-converter.html. So
cool. That's cool.
So
there's
I was gonna say, if you're gonna create one of these kind of puzzles, have a good story, have a good reason to have the number out there.
I agree.
I mean, you could make whatever base you want and throw it out there, and if it's broken up into 3 sets, they can figure it out from the first 2 digits in the north. I mean, because that part will tell you right away what base it is. But it's kind of cool if you change it up a little bit. Maybe you have a handful of aliens in there that only have 3 fingers on each hand, and they're all holding up numbers. Like
6. They're a base 6 or something.
They're a base 7 because they got 3 fingers on each hand.
Oh, that's true. They got 6, 0 through 6. You're right. Oh. Well, yeah. So,
or maybe they have 3 on one hand and 4 on another. You can get really crazy with it.
Fun.
But have a good story, or do the one like with the guy with the telephone pole and have something.
Yeah.
That they got to find in the field and make a field puzzle.
Who's on first?
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base.
So that's very good. Darren brings up a good deal. The Geocaching Toolbox, which is an online tool that we've used numerous times on the show, goes up to base 62, and then the cachesleuth.com, this one right here,
right. Yeah,
that one goes up to base 62 as well. So
I guess in theory,
base 2 to base 62. So
in theory, base numbers go on forever. You just keep separate. It's a base is basically, if it's 1,000,000, it's just 0 to 999,999.
Technically, you're correct, but for us, there's a point where we don't know how to write it.
Oh, because the columns. Because every time you do that, you're going to add another column.
No, because we run out of symbols. So we have 0 through 9.
Oh, okay.
We've got our alphabet. Our 26 letter alphabet, upper and lower, so and 52. I believe there's also the symbols that we have. And after that, not a clue what symbols they use, but I guarantee if you dig deep enough, there's some math whiz out there that's got like base 396 and probably has some weird reason why you'd want to use it. And I have no idea why.
Right. So there you go. Darren says that base 62 is all of the digits 0 through 9, and then upper and lowercase letters for your 26 letter Roman alphabet.
Right.
So there you go.
I guess you get into symbols. I was just looking online. So base, if you go up after you do all those, then they start adding like a plus sign, a slash, an equal sign. I mean, there's ways to.
Right.
But
so
you'd have to find a, yeah.
Yeah.
But at some point you run out all the common symbols, and then they got to make something up. And I'm sure they've done that but I've never looked for it, and I don't want
Too
to hurt.
far.
Yeah, even my brain has a limit for that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's
I agree.
right.
You're into
So-
weird theory there. Stick with what you can do, right? Stick with what's available.
So as long as you use unique symbols, you know how to catch a unique symbol. Unique up on it.
Oh, unique. Oh, that's how you do it.
Oh Lord, see what I got to work with, guys. All right, so that's it for tonight's show. That actually went rather well.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know, for Tom winging it this time. So, but hey, guys, for reals though, if you have questions about a puzzle cache that stumped you, send us an email to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. You know, we'll I answer all of the emails that are in there. I'm not going to come back with a solution to it, but just like the show, I will reply back with these are the tools that you need. This is what you need to know in order to solve this, and get you going on the right track for that. If you have my phone number, and a couple of friends out there have it, you know, and you text me, I'll do like I did with my buddy Rombo and send you solved coordinates as long as you put my name on the cache log.
There you go.
But we also, you guys can send us an email, or if you're on Instagram, you can send us a message through the Instagram Messenger service. I reply to all of those as well that are out there. So, and then if you've got an idea for an upcoming show, by all means, send us a message somehow. Morse code, send us a telegram. Do they still do telegrams?
Binary.
Can we still get a telegram sent to us?
Western Union still there, right?
Yeah. So if you're interested in looking at something specific, send us a message, Puzzle Talk Podcast on Instagram or puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you would like to see in a future show. We will do some workup for it to get that around and happen. New puzzles are going to start coming out. I know I've been lagging on the Instagram post, but new puzzles will be coming out here fairly regularly, hopefully for the next foreseeable future. I'll probably take a little bit of time off in November while I'm on a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean, going from London back to Miami. But those puzzles will be coming out. Be looking for them. And then if you have created a puzzle, we did this show earlier this year, and it was a huge success. So if you have created a puzzle, it was fun. If you have created a puzzle based off of a topic that we shared on the show, send us the GC code to it. We're collecting those for another future show that we hope to have in February, March, early springtime. So next show for us is going to be on November 1st. That is Tuesday, November 1st. Will be our next show for us. And we'll hang around here in a little bit and discuss what we're going to make it about. We'll talk about it at GeoCoin Fest this weekend. And so if you're going to be at GeoCoin Fest this weekend, hey, hit us up. Let us know what you think. If you're struggling with a puzzle, find us while we're there. We'll see if we can help you out with it. Tom has all of the puzzles in San Antonio solved. So
he does.
For the right amount of liquid courage from one of our breweries. He likes the dark beers. He'll be more than happy to.
Or if they're made by Belgian guys.
Or Belgian beers.
So, all right, guys, get out there, get geocaching, get you some souvenirs that are coming up this weekend. There's one this weekend and 4 total if you plan it right. But get out there, get geocaching. If you need some help, give us a holler. We hope to see you on the next show.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.